Welcome back to the Early Buffett YouTube channel, where we do a daily review of BNN Bloomberg's top picks. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a broker. I'm not a CMT. This is by no means financial advice. Please read my disclaimer in the description below, and let's get started. So today we had Cole Couture on June 3rd, 2024. I can't believe it's already June. Beautiful out here in the eastern part of Canada. I hope it's doing well wherever you are, and thanks so much for tuning in. So let's dive right into the charts. So again, my goal here is just to, give some educational insight about chart reading for newbies. I've been doing this only for about 5 years now, but I have picked up some things along the way that I would like to share. So if you're a new trader, if you're into options, if you're into stocks, this is the place to be. So thanks so much for tuning in. First top pick for Cole was DELL Computers. I mean, I had a DELL a long time ago, and right now it seems like a lot of the focus that their stock has obviously done very well in the last year, and their focus has been with AI servers, and that has really got a lot of participation in the stock. Obviously, with this AI boom that's going on, all the technology that's required to run this infrastructure, all of these stocks are getting quite a big boost here. But now we're not circuit breaker down on DELL, but there is currently from what I see on Interactive Brokers here, we have a short sale restriction here because it's had quite a big move down today. You can see this big red candle followed by that big gap that was on right here, that big gap on the 31st on Friday. So looks like we're continuing down this. We're continuing down the elevator here. Elevator down, escalator up, right? As a lot of technical analysts like to say. But you could see here, not only are we hugging this 50-day moving average, we're also back to that resistance level, that 132 and change there. So it's really interesting to see, where these stocks go when they do get hammered. And this was obviously an earnings hit here, guidance hit, I believe, specifically. But, it's finding support at that 50-day. If it breaks that 50-day for a few days, look out below. You're probably looking at this level here because, again, gaps love to get filled. We have this gap here, which is between 94 all the way to 124. So I would say, look out below if that 50-day continues to be breached. But, any time that a stock goes parabolic like this, there's always kind of a correction or a meandering, right? Back here in September 2023, there was a big gap up. That gap didn't fill. It continued along. It bounced off the 50-day. It's kind of went a little bit under the 50-day in December, then continued its way up, tagged the 50-day again. So you could really see how that 50-day moving average really acts like a magnet for this type of security. So who knows what's going to happen, but that was a big move, this parabolic move right here. I mean, we can measure it, and that was going back to February, back in February, all the way up to that all-time high of 179 and change. I believe it, it tagged 180 intraday, but we're talking about a 90% move in a few months. So that's a big move for sure. So look out. I mean, but Cole did like it. He, is confident in the support level here and the continued demand for AI servers. And they also have the diversity with their traditional model of just, selling computers and servers. So looking interesting. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe picking up a little position here. Maybe it'll come down. Maybe it'll, breach that 50-day. Maybe it'll fill this gap. We never know. Past performance doesn't indicate anything, any future performance. So, but, the technicals don't lie. You could see how it has very much a reputation of tagging that 50-day and continuing up. So as long as the business fundamentals continue, this strong AI demand continues. That being said, AI demand, if we have a crash in NVIDIA, you could be sure that DELL is going to, and companies like DELL that have been feeding off this AI frenzy, they'll get hit too for sure. But who knows what will happen in the future, right? So, top pick number 2 for Cole Couture was KWEB, and I've kind of looked at this stock. There's a few pundits that I listened to that were interested in this stock, and it's 10%, well, almost 10% Tencent, almost 10% Alibaba. So obviously levered to those two names. There are a few names that are in that 8% range of this ETF, but you could see, I mean, this thing was up at 100. That was back in 2021 and had an orderly decline. This is tough just because of the Chinese politics. You never know what's going to happen in that type of climate. So not sure here, but if you look at the 1 year, there's been some strength this year, year to date, looking pretty good, pretty strong, but we're back into this consolidation range here. So you could see it tagged at 32 mark back in March, again in July. It tagged it again, a couple weeks ago. And now we're hitting that, back on that 50-day moving average here. So hard to say how this is going to play out, but looks like a good trading range, right? You have a nice trading range here from 23. Pardon me. You have 36 as the upper range here. So there could be a trade here. If things continue to kind of stay stable within the Chinese political infrastructure, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm not really well versed in Chinese politics and everything that's going on. I kind of keep an eye on it a little bit, but it's difficult. It's very difficult. But, these are companies that are making a lot of money, like Alibaba, right? So they're kind of chained down by this, a lot of people calling it uninvestable. So, but could be an interesting way as a small position to kind of play the Chinese market, and more specifically the Chinese Internet of Things market. So could be interesting trade there for sure. But things are looking positive, right? We are above the 50-day. We're above the 200-day. Could be bullish. Could be a nice trade there up till around that 36 mark. Next, well, last but not least, we have Vertiv. And this is another data center, AI theme, chips, digital infrastructure, supercomputing, all that kind of good stuff. Very good business, according to Cole Couture. And look at that, very orderly rise right here. And now it's getting a little hit too, right? So 108, we hit all-time highs. I believe that was all-time highs. My Interactive Brokers has been a little bit wonky. Charts have been a little bit wonky, but we're looking at all-time highs here for Vertiv Holdings. They're in a good space. But again, this thing has gotten a little bit parabolic. So, well, it got, I should say, a little bit parabolic when it almost kissed 110 right there. And it got slammed right back down to 90, so 94. But there's that 50-day, which it has a habit of bouncing off of, right? So this chart looks really good, looks really strong, could be a nice dip buy opportunity. I don't know much about the business. I feel like I repeat that a lot, but again, I like the technicals. I'm more of a technicals guy, but I do look at fundamentals for some of my long-term holdings as well. So, but it looks good. I'll have to do some work on this to see if it might be something that I would pick up here. So that is all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on X, Instagram. I'm going to try and get some Instagram content out there soon. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, be my first subscriber. That'd be amazing. It would mean the world to me. And until next time, which is tomorrow, have a great day.